So the new mandates have a lot of people scratching your head, including me. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to OTR's Vantage Point. I am your host, Mark Kelley from Kelley Defense. Make sure you check out all of our past episodes on the Vantage Point, as well as all of the past episodes of On the Range podcast and War HOGG Words of Wisdom. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/On the Range podcast. A lot of great content, a lot of good training. Go check it out. Tell us what you think. So the current administration has proposed a boatload of mandates. Most of these mandates are headed towards small businesses, medium-sized businesses that have over 100 employees. Now, if they don't comply with the mandates, there's penalties, fees, and all these other things to force compliance. Now, the interesting part, one of the interesting parts anyway, I should say, is that the way they are doing this is not through legislation, of course. This is an executive order that is tasking some administrative agencies, which is curious to me. Basically weaponizing the Labor Department and OSHA to enforce these mandates. Now, this is odd. You know, we can talk about all of the liberties that are being attacked, and that's important, don't get me wrong, but I want to point out one thing about this, and that is the impact that it's going to have on those businesses. Now, public unions seem to be exempt, the teachers' unions being one of them, and other public unions. And I think that has to do with a lot with keeping the support of those voters. Let's face it, there's a lot of people that are teachers, there's a lot of people that worked in the public sector that have collective bargaining. But for some reason, they're going after private businesses with employees over 100. Now, this is odd because the first thing is it keeps talking about, the administration keeps talking about opening up the economy, reopening up the economy. What do you think a business who doesn't want to pay the fees or can't afford to pay the fees is going to do if they have 105 employees? They're going to lay them off. What do you think they're going to do if they can't lay them off and they got to run their business, but they can't afford the fees? They're going to go out of business. Now, this is odd because we're trying to get people to go back to work. We're trying to get people to go back to work. But you're forcing these mandates and saying that there's heavy penalties and just crushing them. The vaccination is not just one piece. If they don't get vaccinated, then they have to give testing every week. Who's going to pay for the tests? So let's say you want to comply, but you can't afford the tests. Then what? You're just going to go out of business? It doesn't make any sense when you're trying to reopen the economy. Another part of these mandates are including and urging large venues, large public venues to require proof of vaccination or a recent negative test. Now, that's going to spark all kinds of things because everybody's been watching, and Major League Baseball's been all year long, they're almost at the end of the season, been going to ball games without any masks. So now the fall season is a big outdoor venue for live concerts. That's coming up. It's going to create all kinds of problems. First of all, there are going to be those who are just not going to do it because they don't want to comply. So let's say that you do get some compliance, but just less people are going. So they can't afford, the businesses, the venues can't afford to pay for all the vendors, all the concessions and all that. They can't afford to pay for all those employees. So now they're out of work. It just seems so counterproductive that we're trying to get people back to work. We're trying to reopen the economy, and you're pushing these crushing blows. These are a lot of businesses. The administration said that this is going to affect 80 million Americans, 80 million employees. It seems to be putting a lot of pressure on these medium-sized businesses and small businesses. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that people are ready to get back to normal and that people are ready for the economy to open up. So what's going to happen when this is a complete failure? First of all, I believe it's a very slim chance that this is going to occur. And if you're the administration, this is a win-win for you. because then you just throw up your hand and say, well, I tried to do everything I can, but those legal guys and the legislatures wanted to pass a law and do all legal like and wouldn't let me do it. That's basically what he's going to say. So it's a win-win for him. Go back and read that speech or watch that speech. A lot of very curious language being used. Very curious language. Check out the piece about if they don't comply, I'm going to remove or use my office to move the governors out of the way. This is a republic. Hometown rule. Very curious to see what's going to happen. Hey, if you like this video, if you like this take from On the Range Vantage Point, go ahead and leave me a comment. Again, don't forget to check out our Patreon page. Go ahead and check out all the episodes of War HOGG Words of Wisdom. And don't forget to check out all the past episodes of On the Range podcast. Sign up for the Patreon page. You're going to love it.